Welcome to Teacher as a Family Resource Advocate and School-Wide Family Engagement Activities. So why is family engagement important? Well, we know no matter what their family income is, background may be, students with involved parents are more likely to have better social skills, pass their classes, attend school regularly, earn higher grades and test scores, and graduate and go on to post-secondary education. So it's really important that parents be part of the process of having their children at school. So there's lots of barriers that come into play when we're talking about home professional collaboration. There can be problems with language. There can be they don't know how to come in and talk to you. There might be cultural differences. They might not be able to read the signs and the things that we send out to let parents know about it. And they might be scared of having an interaction with you or with an authority figure. So one of the ways that we want to do it is we really want families to feel welcome in the classroom. We don't want to say things like, who are you? What do you want? We want to be welcoming. Come into school. Can I help you? Having lots of welcome signs up there. Being in contact with them at least once a month. Sending home lots of interactive homework assignments that parents can do with their kids. But we want to be careful about that because sometimes we overwhelm families that don't have the ability to find time to work with their kids. And we don't want to have them starting out with guilt. We want to have lots of times that we connect with them, maybe during drop off and pickup. Instead of making that time, this is a really busy time, let's set another one. If we see a parent, welcoming them in, allowing them into the program. So there are 6 keys to successful involvement. One is helping parents with parenting skills. And we have to do it with a lot of care because dignity is very important. And a lot of times parents will feel very on the spot when we do that. So we really want to be there as a support. The second type is really communicating with them, giving them lots of announcements about what's happening in schools and making sure it's in languages and in ways they can understand. Another way is to have them volunteer, giving them opportunities to volunteer in different locations at different times to support all different types of families and all different types of schedules. Giving families the ability to learn at home so that things can carry over, but not overwhelming them with homework or activities where they feel put out by the school or feel put upon. We want them also to be part of the decision-making process. They should be part of being a partner in school. And we should also collaborate with the community, making sure that they have the resources necessary to be able to be part of the community and to be able to better parent. So the first thing we need to make sure of is that families are safe and they're healthy and they have opportunities for educational advancement and economic mobility. So we want them to have what they need: mental health services, housing services, food assistance, and support. We also want to make sure that we have warm and nurturing relationships with the parents, and the parents have warm and nurturing relationships with the school and with the child. That's really key in having children be able to learn. We also want them to be able to participate with the learning with what goes on at school. That might mean that some parents don't know how to read English, and giving them resources and opportunities, and making sure that these are available not only in the school, but in their communities and churches and synagogues, anything else that might impact the child. We want them to, families to learn about different learning styles. So they might have been brought up in a very rigid learning environment. And we want them to learn about how are we teaching kids? What is different in terms of what we're doing than they might have experienced as a learner? And we want them to be involved in the transition as they move to new learning environments. So we want to make sure that when they're going from early childhood, that they're supported going into the elementary grades and beyond. So it doesn't just stop in the elementary years. We also know that families form connections with peers. We want them to create social networks. These social networks can really support them as they move through transitions, if they're seeking early intervention services. And especially when they speak their same language, it can really help form communities that just don't stop in the classroom, that can move throughout their entire educational and life experiences. We also want families to be advocates and leaders. And that can start in early childhood programs. We want them to be part of the decision making, part of the policy development. And they know what their families need. They know what their communities need. And so being a part of that is extremely important. So what family engagement, what type of activities? We want to make sure that we're meeting their basic needs, that we're evaluating them for services, that we're extending children's learning in the home and the community, that we're giving them opportunities to participate and volunteer, and that they're part of advocating for system improvement. And that's really what we're talking about in terms of family engagement. So we also, as I said, want to do basic needs. We want to support their basic needs with this engagement. We want them to have emotional support. We want them to have social connections. We want to address childcare, especially if they're coming in and volunteering. And we want to make sure that they have opportunities to keep themselves and their kids healthy. We want them to feel safe. We want to make sure that they have enough money to pay for food and housing. And if they don't, connecting them with resources. And we want to make sure that there are family partnerships that address these needs. And we want to make sure that we can refer them, if they don't, for services and supports. And that's really important. Our job does not just stop at educating children. It's really bringing families into schools, connecting them with services, and making sure that they're supported in order to support the child and support the family. And when we move on to things like children needing specialized supports, we want to make sure that we know how to advocate for them. We want to be able to make sure that we can refer parents to the right areas. We want to coach families on knowing their rights. We want to talk to them about promotion and making sure that the child is competent across all domains that we're teaching. And if not, we want to have to teach them about assistive technology in the classroom, assistive technology at home, and how that can be utilized to support the child.